The badge was real. That's what's while every detail checked out, the clearance, the way the guy carried himself, the way he nodded at the front desk like he'd done it 1,000 times. Adrian Pierce wasn't pretending. He wasn't sneaking in or fidgeting or trying to be anyone other than who he was. But you know how it is some days? You walk into the wrong room, and suddenly everything about you is the reason the air shifts. It was a Tuesday, nothing out of the ordinary, Denver sky bright enough you'd think it could bleach the worries right out of a person. Adrian showed up at Summit Corporate Plaza just before 10, looking sharp in gray and black, that messenger bag neat against his side. Security barely looked up, just Carl at the front nodding like, yeah, I've seen it all. But behind the desk, Chloe Davies watched Adrian with that kind of suspicion you can't quite name, the kind that crawls out of the back of your head and whispers, something's not right. So she didn't ask him anything, didn't try a friendly good morning, didn't even check his badge. She just dialed up building security. There's a man in the lobby, she said, voice low, looks out of place, talking to himself. Didn't mention he looked like a government man. Didn't mention he had a badge. Just said he was there. Adrian's contact was late, which didn't help. He leaned near the wall, talking into his earbud, probably about a million things more important than whatever was about to happen to him. But Chloe's hunch didn't stay small. A minute later, Denver PD rolled up, officers Kevin Stone and Maya Santos, both looking for trouble where there wasn't any. The dispatcher had told them just enough to get their hearts up. Black male, early 40s, maybe scouting out the building. You know what I mean? All it takes is a half sentence. Stone was all business, the kind of business that makes you stand a little too tall. Sir, could we have a word? Adrian didn't flinch. What's this about? He asked. Step away from the wall, hands visible, Stone said, hand resting just a little too tight on his hip. Adrian's voice stayed calm. I'm with the agency, he said. Scheduled brief. Stone narrowed his eyes. Which agency? Adrian tried to explain, started to reach for his bad move. Don't reach, Stone barked, his hand twitching toward his holster. You could feel the tension crackle. Adrian froze, steady, not scared, just tired. You just asked for my ID, he said. Santos, the other cop, stepped up, her voice a little softer. Place the bag down. Open it slowly. Adrian did, slow and careful, side pocket unzipped. They found the badge, credentials, the works photo, name, everything you could want. Still, Stone wasn't ready to let it go. We'll need to confirm, he muttered. You can call Agent Rachel Chun, Dallas Regional, Adrian offered. They didn't. Stone moved on. Are you armed? Yeah, issued Glock 19, right hip concealed, fully authorized. By now, Adrian was sitting on the cold floor, not making a move. The way he stared back, you could see he had done this before or something like it, and he was tired of doing it again. Santos looked at Stone. We should radio this in. Stone didn't move, the room thick with silence, as if everyone was waiting for something to snap. Then the elevator chimed, and in walked Agent Rachel Chun, badge flashing, coffee in hand. She took one look, and everything changed. What is going on here? She demanded, voice slicing through the lobby. Adrian nodded, almost wry. Morning, Rachel. Chun looked at the officers. Why is my top agent on the floor? Stone tried to explain, said something about a suspicious call. Chun didn't buy it. Did he resist? Threaten anyone? No, Santos admitted. Then why is he on the floor? Chun's voice went colder. Stone had nothing. Chun let the silence hang. Because he's black and wearing an earbud? No answer. Adrian stood, finally, 9 minutes after this all started. 9 minutes, he said quietly. That's how long I was treated like a threat. Chun nodded, jaw set. You're cleared, Adrian. She turned back to the cops. You still need confirmation? Here's my card. 8 years. Agency veteran. Look it up. Nobody spoke. Chloe behind the desk looked like she wanted to vanish. Adrian checked his bag, head high, but there was something burning in his eyes now, a frustration too old to put out, only to bank for later. That's when building security showed up, Daryl, the head, whispering to Chun, we've reviewed footage. There's something you need to see. Her eyebrows shot up. What now? Daryl pointed to the monitors. Another man, 5 minutes before Agent Pierce, left a black case under the planter by the north wall. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Where is it now? We haven't moved it. Waiting on bomb squad protocols. It was all deliberate, Daryl said, the man glancing over his shoulder. Not random. Chun straightened. Secure the lobby. Evacuate everyone who isn't essential. Lock down the elevators. She looked at Adrian. You're with me. Chloe blurted out. Wait, what do you mean, bomb squad? No one answered. Adrian, already back on task, started calling in codes through his earbud. Patch me to ops. Possible drop confirmed. Coordinates locked. Scrub 5-minute window. Check audio. Chun moved fast. Barked orders. Sent someone to call Dallas. Switched to contingency protocol. Suddenly the tension in the room was more than suspicion. It was survival. Chun turned to the officers, voice cold. You want to check his record? He's got more commendations than some agents rack up in a lifetime. Santos nodded. Stone stayed quiet, face tight. Chloe stepped forward, shaky. Tu wasn't sure. I didn't want to take a risk. Adrian didn't snap at her, didn't even look angry, just deeply, deeply tired. Want to know the irony? He said flat. I was standing next to the building directory the whole time. You could have just asked my name. Chloe looked at her shoes. Chun kept going. Just before I got here, Agent Pierce was reviewing a transfer application for Cop Cybercrimes Task Force. That file was on his desk. The applicant's name? Officer Kevin Stone. Stone looked like the wind had been knocked out of him. I didn't know. Chun's eyes were ice. You listed your scores, your experience, your commendations. It's a strong file. Adrian folded his arms. Had you marked for interview, he said. Thought you had good instincts. Stone went red, shame washing over his face. The mood Chong at it wasn't just tension, it was the realization that consequences were landing in the room. You were 15 minutes away from an agency interview, Chun said. Instead, you have a man on the floor, hand on your gun, ignoring a federal badge. Chloe was already shrinking behind her desk. Adrian's voice stayed low. This is why we talk about bias. It doesn't always show up as violence. Sometimes it's a phone call. Sometimes it's a silence or a hand hovering by a holster for 9 straight minutes. Stone barely managed. I didn't realize. Chun snapped back, and that's the whole problem. Adrian looked at Santos. You saw my ID. You knew it was real. Santos nodded. Yeah, I did. I didn't speak up. Adrian shrugged. Not unkind. We don't get to choose when the big moments find us. Only how we answer. Just then the elevator behind them chimed, and a manager from Apex Solutions popped out, confused. Agent Pierce, we had a briefing scheduled. Adrian picked up his bag, already moving on. But before he stepped into the elevator, he turned to Stone, who was still frozen in place. I want you to remember one thing, Adrian said, voice quieter but sharp. The only difference between you and me in that lobby today, I never doubted who I was. Stone didn't answer. For the first time, he didn't look like a cop, just a man, stunned by what he'd let happen. Adrian and Chun rode the elevator up. Doors closing on Chloe, still clutching her phone, her silence louder than her words had ever been. As the door slid shut, Adrian said, half to himself, 9 minutes. That's all it took to almost burn everything down. Upstairs, Adrian locked back into work mode, pain hidden behind professionalism, doing what needed to be done. The briefing ran its course. He packed up, ready to go. Chun offered, want company downstairs? He shook his head. No need. I'll call you, she said. Back in the lobby, Adrian didn't expect anyone to still be there, but Santos was. She waited by a pillar, unguarded now. Agent Pierce, she said. He turned. I waited because I needed to say this. No one told me to. You were right. I saw your ID. I knew it was real. I let it all happen anyway. I froze. I didn't stand up when I should have. I won't forget that. Adrian looked her in the eye. She meant it no performance, just the truth. You still get to decide what kind of cop you're going to be, he said. She nodded, quiet but determined. Adrian walked out through the revolving doors. This time, no one stopped him, no looks, no questions, just sunlight and the street outside, the city moving on, unaware how close it came to another headline. And maybe that's the story, right? That 9 minutes can show you everything: fear, bias, regret, but also a chance to do better. So what do you think? Was anyone right? Was anyone justified? What's justice herein? Whose job is it to make things right when the system gets it wrong? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear what you would have done if you had 9 minutes.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình là mình lên mạng xã hội tìm hiểu những video.
Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to.
Yeah, they're on the fence.
Use the fence.